So that's it. Newcastle have signed off for 2022. 0-0 draw today. I think everybody's probably just about dried up after that one. But yeah, spirits shouldn't be dampened too much. I think Leeds was always going to be a tricky game. You look at some of the results they've got across the season since they've been back in the Premier League, and I don't know, they are difficult opponents, and so proved today. And the law of averages said that Newcastle at one stage were not going to win a football game. Obviously, they have lost once this season to Liverpool, but they've been on an unbelievable run. And yeah, for me, it was going to come to an end, that winning run, and it did against Leeds. But the big thing is, if you can't win, don't lose. And that's exactly what the situation was for Eddie Howe and his players. I think overall, I thought it was a really great day in terms of, the build up to the game. We had the war flags display. I thought that was excellent. I think the retro stuff always gets people excited. I think everyone would love a return to Adidas, and we all love the Newcastle Brown Ale sponsors. But yeah, look, Newcastle, our club on the up, that was a display of it beforehand. They're looking back on the past, but they're also looking to what they hope is going to be a bright future. And I think all said and done, you look at the table, they've certainly got a platform to build off now. I think Eddie Howe has a squad of players who he wants to keep together. Definitely wants to keep them together. He wants to keep that team spirit which he's built in the last 12 months. He wants to hold on to that. But he's probably going to need a few tweaks. And today, the lineup obviously didn't have John Joe Shelby in it, and our left back Dan Burn continued. He was in there on merit anyway, but we've since learned after the game what Eddie Howe described as a nasty injury for Matt Targett. Left the stadium in a protected boot. He's not going to feature for the foreseeable future. So does that mean another fullback coming in, another midfielder? Does Eddie Howe have to alter his plans? He said on the eve of the game that he wanted to reflect a little bit, and he said changes could well be possible. So we'll have a look at that as we go along. But yeah, overall, I think the game was one to look at the positives on, really. If you go back to the kickoff, we had the brilliant minutes applause for Pele. Bruno Guimaraes wearing the Brazil shirt with Pele's name on the back. I thought that was really nice touch. And yeah, I think as far as Pele is concerned, one of the gods of the game. And anyone knows, people who don't know about football know Pele was, and I think that applause, went round before the game. I thought was excellent. I think even before the referee had a chance to blow his whistle, people were applauding. I thought that was brilliant. So that was before the game. Then things unfolded a little bit. Newcastle had a couple of chances, just wouldn't fall for them. Dan Burn missed one in front of goal. Not his primary job to score goals, but yeah, that was a bit disappointing for him. And then I think Sean Longstaff had a couple of chances in the second half. Joe Linton had an opportunity. Chris Wood sort of had an opening, but then even when Callum Wilson was on the pitch, St Maximin was on the pitch, just nothing seemed to fall for Newcastle. It was edging towards looking like one of those days, and that's that's how it proved to be. But the big positives are, they've got a clean sheet, they've got a point, they're still in the top three. They go to Arsenal with an unbelievable chance to, close the gap on them. They've got nothing to lose. I think there's so much to look forward to in 2023. And I think really Eddie Howe afterwards, while he was disappointed, I was disappointed on a personal note because obviously he likes winning, but I think he knows this team has progressed. They're on a long unbeaten run. As I say, they go to Arsenal, and yeah, they still are in the title conversation. But no one's bigged that up too much anyway within the camp. But for Howe and his squad now, they train on New Year's Day. They start to focus on the Arsenal game, and they head down there with confidence and optimism, and hopefully, you know, that can be a big day in the capital. But yeah, you know, 0-0 against Leeds. Very, you know, as I say, spirit's slightly dampened, but not too dampened, and I think Eddie Howe will now focus on other things like Arsenal, like the transfer window, and hopefully push Newcastle in that European place come the end of the season.